Leeds fans, stop scrolling right now. Elland Road just erupted with breaking news, and it's not just about the 3-1 defeat. The crisis runs deeper. The 4-9ers are facing their first major decision. We have a £15 million signing being called a waste, a star player admitting the team is broken, and a manager who insiders say has lost the dressing room. The breaking news. Reports are intensifying that Daniel Farke's time is up. The international break is the perfect time to pull the trigger. If you bleed white more than you hate United, smash that like button right now. The fallout from the City Ground defeat is nuclear, and we start with the player who cost £15 million and is now being blamed for the collapse. An inquest begins with the man between the sticks. A goalkeeper is the foundation, but Leeds' foundation is crumbling. The 3-1 defeat to Nottingham Forest exposed a fatal flaw, and it's the one that cost £15 million. The name Lucas Perry. The Brazilian keeper had an afternoon to forget at the City Ground. Yes, he made a decent double save early on, giving fans a moment of false hope, but he was immediately criticized by the Elland Road faithful for his role in Forest's first goal. This isn't the first time. He was blasted for his performance against Brighton, and his adaptation to the Premier League has been rocky at best, disrupted by injury and poor form. Now, the backlash is coming from inside the house. Former Leeds defender John Newsom, speaking on BBC Radio Leeds, didn't hold back. He warned the 49ers that they have wasted funds on Perry. Newsom questioned why the club spent £15 million, perhaps even £18 million, on the Lion import when they already had Carl Darlow. Newsom's devastating assessment? He's splitting hairs to say one is better than the other. Think about that. £15 million spent on a player who is no better than the backup. Newsom twisted the knife further, asking why Leeds spent that money on a keeper when they were crying out for a number 10 or another number 9, but Farke claimed they were running out of funds. Newsom called it a waste, plain and simple, accountability that has to go to the top. While some errors are about handling, the data shows the real problem. It's his distribution. According to data from Fatma, against Forest, Perry's pass accuracy was 81%, but his long passes, a disaster. He attempted 8 long passes. He completed 1. Just 1 out of 8. That is a 13% success rate. In the Premier League, that's suicide. It's not just an incomplete pass, it's handing possession back to a team like Forest, inviting pressure, and killing the momentum for players like Crescencio Somerville and Wilfried Nanto before they even get a touch. With no Dominic Calvert-Lewin type target man, those long kicks have to be precise, and they are anything but. Daniel Farke expects more, but perhaps this is just what Perry is. That £15 million could have been the difference maker, the creative number 10 the squad is screaming for. Instead, it's sitting on the bench or, worse, costing points on the pitch. Is £15 million for a backup goalkeeper the worst transfer decision of the season? Let me know in the comments. If you think that money should have gone to a striker, hit the like button. But the keeper is only one problem. The Rod has said it, and the team's leader, the man who is supposed to be the heartbeat, just admitted to the cameras that the situation is desperate. A struggling keeper is bad, but a defeated leader is worse. The cameras turned to Ethan Ampadu after the final whistle at the City Ground, and his face said everything. It was pure despair, dejection, desperation. This 3-1 loss wasn't just another loss, it felt like a breaking point. It marks the 4th defeat in 5 Premier League games for Leeds. It's their 5th defeat in 6 league games away from home. This is not just poor form, this is relegation form, and the fans know it. Ampadu, usually the reliable heartbeat of the midfield, was poor like the rest of them, struggling to cope as Forest poured over them. He stepped up for the LUTV interview and tried to deliver the usual player speak. He started to say it's a long season, but he couldn't even finish the platitude. He admitted, and this is the quote that should terrify fans, that he doesn't want to keep saying this. He knows the fans aren't stupid. He knows the long season excuse is wearing thin after just 11 games. When your most consistent player admits he's fed up with the post-game rhetoric, you know the dressing room is on the floor. This team is beleaguered. They look like they have no idea how to stop opponents. Daniel Farke even admitted in his own press conference that he was bereft of ideas when looking at his bench. That is a terrifying admission from a Premier League manager. It means the Plan B, Plan C, and Plan D do not exist. The substitutes made no impact. The tactical shifts were useless. The traveling Leeds fans who packed the away end at the City Ground deserved better than to see their manager admit he had no idea what to do. The pressure is suffocating. And here is the fact that turns this crisis into a catastrophe: the upcoming fixtures. This international break is the only relief they will get after the break. Leeds face an Aston Villa side that just smashed Bournemouth for 2-0 after Villa. Manchester City after City. Chelsea after Chelsea. Liverpool. It is a brutal run of games. If Ampadu is dejected now, what will he look like after that run? If they concede 3 to Forest, how many will they concede to a rampant Man City? How many points, realistically, can Leeds get from Villa, City, Chelsea, and Liverpool? Drop your number below. Ampadu doesn't want to say the same thing over and over, but unless something drastic changes, he'll have to. And that change must start at the top. The 49ers are now being forced to act. The players are broken, the signings are failing, and the leader has given up. There is only one move left. Leeds United have no choice now. The 49ers enterprises must act, and they must act immediately. Daniel Farke must be sacked. This 3-1 defeat to Forest wasn't just a loss, it was the final nail in the coffin. Relegation is looming. Leeds are now hovering just 1 point above the bottom 3, and 2 of the teams below them just 1. The international break is the traditional time for an execution. This cannot wait. Farke's future is no longer a question, it's a necessity. Let's look at the facts. Leeds have won just 3 of their opening 11 games in the Premier League. There were rumors Farke was going to be sacked before the season even started, and now we see why. His record in the Premier League is dreadful. It was dreadful with Norwich, and it's proving to be dreadful with Leeds. The team is going straight back to the Championship unless a change is made. Only Wolves have scored fewer goals than the Whites this season. The team looks lost, disjointed, and tactically naive. This is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing that failed before and expecting a different result. The 49ers watched the Andrea Radrizzani era. They saw the catastrophic mistake of sticking by Jesse Marsch for weeks, even months, too long. The loyalty was admirable but ultimately fatal. It cost Leeds their Premier League status. The 49ers promise high-level, data-driven, decisive American ownership. This is their first test. Sticking with Farke isn't decisive. It's a repeat of the exact same error that doomed the club just 2 years ago. While the players, like Puri, need to look in the mirror, the ultimate blame lands on the German. Failure to act now would showcase a massive lack of ambition. But here is the critical piece of context. The 49ers have already had to accept a mistake this season. This will be the second time they've been forced to pull the trigger. They did the same thing with Russell Martin at Rangers after a similarly shocking start to the season. It's an identical pattern. They backed the wrong man, and the results were catastrophic. As Nigel Reo-Coker said about that situation, the ownership has to put their hands up and admit we made the wrong decision. Will they do it again? Or will they risk relegation by sticking with Farke? It is time for accountability. If you agree the 49ers must sack Farke now, smash that LIKE button. I want to see one comment: Farke in or Farke out. Let the 49ers hear it. But as the axe hangs over Farke's head, the entire club is balancing on a knife edge. The next 72 hours are critical. The 3-1 collapse at the City ground wasn't an accident, it was the inevitable consequence of systemic failure. We have a £15 million goalkeeper who can't hit a long pass, a dressing room leader who publicly admitted defeat before the battle, and a manager who is tactically exposed and bereft of ideas. Leeds United is in a downward spiral, and 49ers enterprises promised ambition. They promised they wouldn't repeat the sentimental mistakes of Radrizzani. That fatal error, sticking with Jesse Marsch for far too long. Now, history is repeating itself. 49ers enterprises faces their first major test, but the clock is ticking faster. The international break isn't a pause, it's decision time. Keeping Daniel Farke is passively accepting a return to the Championship. The upcoming fixtures: Aston Villa, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool are at death row. If Farke stays in charge, Leeds will be 6 points adrift of safety before Christmas. Inaction right now isn't loyalty, it's managerial negligence. The 49ers already had to apologize for the Russell Martin mistake at Rangers. They are about to apologize to the thousands at Elland Road. The time for analysis is over. It is time to act. Premier League survival depends on it. And that is why I need to hear from every single Leeds fan watching this. 1. If you believe Leeds are mathematically relegated if Daniel Farke is still the manager on New Year, stay, smash that LIKE button. TWO, I want your comment. Who is the firefighter that can save this season? Graham Potter, Steve Cooper, We need realistic names. 3. Subscribe to the channel right now and hit that bell. The sacking news could drop at any hour, and we will be here first. But hold on, the situation is more volatile than you think. Here is the first cliffhanger. An internal source confirmed tonight that the 49ers board is split. Half want the change now. The other half fears panic and wants to give Farke the Villa game. That indecision is what could kill the club. And the second cliffhanger? Aston Villa just received news that Ollie Watkins is fully recovered from his injury and trained today. He is poised to exploit the league's weakest defense. The crisis is total. The battle for the soul of Elland Road starts now. Marching on together.